Today we are driving into some exciting technical use cases around data acquisition and data standardization. We are exploring how TSN, so time-sensitive networking solutions, are really revolutionizing the industrial Ethernet, particularly in the context of Keller's innovations in the printing industry. So what can these solutions do? How can they help you? What kind of use cases is Keller implementing, and what does the implementation process look like? Stay tuned as we answer these questions now with our expert guests. As always, you can find all detailed project information in the show notes and through IoTUseCase.com. Let's get started and have fun with this special episode. Hi, John, Michał, and Piotr. I'm glad that you're joining us today. So, John, could you explain what do you do and what your role is at CC-Link Partner Association in Europe?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Madeleine. So my name is John Browett, and I'm the General Manager of the CC-Link Partner Association for Europe. And CC-Link is currently the world's leading industrial Ethernet technology. CC-Link IETSN is currently the only open industrial Ethernet technology which combines gigabit Ethernet and time-sensitive networking. And what we do here in Europe is that we work with a wide variety of vendors across the continent, and we work with them to put this technology into their products. And we're getting some pretty good response on that right now. So this is just part of a worldwide effort to further increase the market share of CC-Link IETSN across the globe.
Thank you so much. So when you say worldwide, where's your location right now? So where are we hearing you location-wise right now?
Well, sure, yeah. So officially, our headquarters for Europe is near Düsseldorf in Germany.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And right now, I'm based in the UK, so southwest of London.
All right, thank you. And also you brought some more guests in the round today. So maybe, Michał, I would like to hand over to you. So what are you doing and what's your role here?
Hello, good afternoon. So my name is Michał Cydzik and I'm product manager of control system in Mitsubishi Electric. So we are as Mitsubishi Electric providing the factory automation solution for different industries, from automotive, food and beverage, intralogistics, process automation, and so on. Like John mentioned, we are utilizing CLPA technology in our solutions like PLCs, HMIs, server drives, motion controllers, and of course, robots. And this is all of we are using in our portfolio of products.
Perfect. And I would love to hear more about this in a second. So where are we reaching you right now? Where's your location right now?
So I'm broadcasting from Poland, to be specific, from Wrocław. So this is southwest of Poland. But our headquarters is in the Krakow on the south of Poland.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to deep dive in a second. And last in the round, Piotr, I would love to hear more about your role. So what are you doing and what were you especially doing at Keller as a company?
Thank you. I'm a CEO of Keller company. We are producing printing machines for industrial printing applications. We also provide consumable service training. Our main customers are from automotive, plastic and glass packaging, cosmetic, spirits industries, home appliance, pharma, medicine, consumer electronic. We are located in Poland.
All right. Thank you so much. So I saw your machines before also online, but we had some pre-discussions. But I would love to give our audience some details about how your machines look. And maybe you could describe a bit the machines, for example, the size and maybe some modules and details to provide some insights about your machines and how they work.
Yes. So typical printing process, typical machines. The first operation is transport. Then there is loading operation. Then you have to perform surface treatment, especially when it's plastic packaging, just to prepare the surface, the substrate before printing. Then usually there is positioning operation, printing, curing or drying, and you can repeat this operation several times depending on how many colors would you like to achieve. Then you can add, and that happens very often in packaging industry, you can add other operations like hot stamping, which is another printing technology that gives you a very nice glossy chrome-like effect. Then there is usually quality control. If it's a more sophisticated project, there is some assembly operation, packaging operation, unloading. That's typical project.
Okay, thank you. And what would be also really interesting to learn today in the IoT Use Case podcast is also how you work with the data. And I would love to learn about what's the vision of digitalization now for your customers, because you're like the market leader and you're really long in this industry. But what is your vision now in the direction of digitalization here?
Yes, our customers nowadays, they operate in very turbulent and unpredictable environment. And we think that three main advantages about this solution. The first one, you don't have to be able to predict the future. That's super important because lead time for such machine is something like half a year. Then you have to make production for a year or two to achieve your return on investment. So today you have to decide what kind of machine, what type of configuration you need for the next 2 years. But there's another way. You can be able to reconfigure the machine effectively, being able to add new operations, new technologies, or even downgrade the machine when needed. For example, to split 2 colors, screen printing machine into 2 single color machines.
Mm-hmm. So there are new requirements also coming in from your customers, which you have to address now also in the market, right?
Yes, absolutely. The second one is that you will be able to produce short series effectively and make money on short runs production. Because setup is very fast and effective, because tooling is relatively easy and cheap. And the last thing is that you don't need super skilled operators to do this. And these are effects of applying this new technology. These are final business effects for the customers.
I see. So also support employees with data-driven features and learn about the insights, how operators are using the machine.
Making operators and supervisors' lives much more easy.
Okay, thank you. And Michał, as you are with Mitsubishi Electric, a long-standing partner and also working quite closely with CC Link Partner Association, can you give some insights also how you work together now with Keller, but also with CC Link Partner Association here together? How does it work, depending on the vision also with Keller?
Yes, of course. So CLPA, we are working, cooperating, I would say, right from the beginning of Mitsubishi Electric and our first, I would say, technology, which was a CC Link. But now, thanks to the new technology, which is CC Link IETSN or CC Link based on the industrial Ethernet, we are implementing all of this solution in our latest products, which we have regarding the factory automation systems. But in this particular case, together with Keller, we are cooperating since 2012. So from that time, we are doing a lot of new technology, new machines, new ideas. And I believe today we'll talk a little bit more about the newest idea of the technology. Thanks to the CC Link ITSN, thanks to also some hardware from our side, like motion or PLCs, we take this into account and solve some challenges which we encounter during this whole cooperation, because there is so many types of machines, different challenges, and so on.
So brownfield, yeah. So maybe we could also talk about this in a second to learn more about what kind of components are these and what are the new challenges. And maybe to understand that, I would love to kind of deep dive in this project a bit. John, can you tell us a bit more about the background of the project and maybe also to understand why it's important to use these type of technologies here?
Sure, yeah. It's a very large, sophisticated machine, as Piotr was saying. It's used for printing a wide variety of different containers and so on for the cosmetics and other industries, I believe. As a result of all the different motion control processes that are happening in the machine, such as moving bottles around and printing on them and so on, so there's close to 70 different axes of motion which are used in the machine. And so that's a tremendous number of different axes and a very large scale motion control system. And basically, everything on the machine is networked together using CC Link IETSN, Industrial Ethernet. So all those different motion axes and a number of different other processes on the machine are all connected together using CLPA network technology. So these are all supplied by Mitsubishi Electric, And Mitsubishi's incorporated all of our technology into all of those devices. So in the end, it provides a very large-scale motion control system for Keller. The benefit of using CC-Link IETSN is that it provides what we call a converged network. So what that means is you've got the ability to combine all these different motion axes on the same network along with other capabilities if you wish to. So like, for example, I believe Keller was considering in the future to add a vision system to this machine. So when they decide to do that, they should be able to use the same network that they're already using for the motion control, because CC-Link IETSN gives you the ability to build that kind of converged network system.
To reflect the time, synchronous communication is key here, right? So we have a lot of, you were mentioning like motion control applications here. So I could imagine that there are a lot of different access and really high speed applications here. So maybe Piotr, can you explain a bit why the time synchronous communication is key here?
Classically, transport operation that is not adding any value to the product and adding processes like printing, surface treatment. Normally, these are separate processes. With time-sensitive network, you are able to perform these processes simultaneously. So you don't waste time. You still need energy, but you don't waste time. And the overall dynamic of the system is lower. And that has a very nice effect on mechanical elements, lifetime, on frictions, a very important topic in the matter of quality of printing processes. You want the process to be fast, you want to operate at high speed, but you don't want dynamic movement. And when you are able to perform transport with printing operations or other operations at the same time, then you have much more stable process. You get high productivity without frictions, with super high quality in terms of technology.
I see. Okay. So, Michał, could you explain from the component side what the technical challenge is, what you have to solve here together with Keller? Maybe before you choose CC-Link also as a technology. So what is the technical challenge what customers like Keller have to solve here?
Okay. So in this particular application, Keller came to us with a very challenging machine, basically, because they requested modular design. So the machine itself is built from the parts, so you can mix different type of technologies in the printing industry to create whole process. And this was quite a big challenge to provide the complete solution which can control every bit of information within the whole mechanical spectrum, I would say, of the machine with ease, I would say, and connect, and to be also flexible in that terms. Another, I would say, big challenge, which also Piotr mentioned, is the performance. And we need to achieve some certain performance this machine to be profitable. And the key point here was that we need to produce at least 3,000 pieces per hour, up to even 3,600 pieces per hour. So this is a huge amount of product which we have to provide.
Right.
And the last thing, it's in the printing industry, one of the common thing, it's very tight synchronization, tight motion control, because the quality which we have to provide to the customer has to be on the top notch, because Keller is also producing the machine for the premium brands, which cannot, I would say, which they have to basically provide the highest quality of the product itself. So the tight synchronization, tight motion control, high speed, there's a lot of challenges regarding the application, which we have to basically fulfill and overcome.
Right, right. Maybe to add one question to that, because I was thinking the whole time about this time-sensitive network why behind. So maybe we could find a really easy example how others can rethink why that's important. And I'm always thinking about watching soccer, like when you're watching a game and suddenly you hear the neighbors cheering because the goal has scored, but the goal hasn't happened on your TV yet. And you want to kind of avoid this time delay problem also in technology. And in this sense, I think, so please correct me if I'm wrong, like determinism really means that everything happens simultaneously and predictably. So there are no delays or surprises. So this is particularly important for technology technology also for all processes to run synchronized. Like you mentioned, for example, vision sensors. So you have streaming data, you have different data types happening. And this is exactly that you know what happens when. Like as you would like to see the goal in real time in football, right? So is that a good example to explain the why behind a bit?
Yeah. I think that's pretty close, Madeleine. Yeah. There's really two key benefits that TSN can deliver in applications like this and many others too. So the first one, like you say, is determinism.
And I would like to say it's even maybe much more you would like to see your team members in the real time when you are a player.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So basically the determinism ability, as you said, everything happens on your machine when you expect it to. So in the case of Keller, obviously, this is a very large, very complex machine, many moving parts. It's extremely important that they all move exactly in the right way in relation to each other. Otherwise, maybe things might get damaged or product quality won't be correct or so on. So having determinism in there allows that to happen. And as we said earlier, the other key benefit that TSN delivers is the converged network, which, as Piotr was saying, allows multiple different things to happen at the same time together too. So, and as Piotr says, the different guys running around on the pitch at the same time, I suppose that kind of is a sort of analogy for the convergence in a way too.
Okay, so thanks for understanding. So the determinism ensures that the machines and systems work accurately together without delays. And Piotr, you talked about your machine before, for example, the components, but also drives and components you have on the machine. So have you some examples what kind of sensors and devices you have connected in order to access the data? Are these like different axes or what is it in the machine?
You have a lot of different axes working together, performing single operation. You have sensors that are responsible for positioning or finding a position of your product. You have quality control systems. And if you have all this data live, you can perform all these things simultaneously. You don't have to stop the process, wait for information from every sensor, every axis, if the operation is done, so you can run continuously.
So, and that's why you choose CC Link as a technology and like work together to solve that, right? So that was the key aspect where you choose working together.
Yes, that was one of the key aspects, yes.
Okay. I would love to learn more, John, about like CLPA as an international organization. So we learned now that your key technology behind that is CC Link. And I think it's a special one. It's CC Link TSN. Could you explain a bit what you are providing as an international organization here?
Sure, yeah. As you said, we are a global organization. We have locations in about 10 different places around the world right now. Our global headquarters is in Japan. We have two main jobs, if you like. The first one is to work with industrial automation vendors around the world to put our technologies in their products. Right now, our main technology is CC Link TSN, as we described earlier. We get a lot of companies working with us worldwide to add this technology to their products, no matter what kind of product they are. When you're building a machine like Keller, as we've looked at already, you get motion control systems, you have I/O, sensors, vision systems, controllers, HMIs, all kinds of different devices that can be connected together to make a system using our technology. And the second main job that we have is to make sure everybody's aware of this. So we do a lot of promotional activities worldwide where, like, for example, we participate in various fairs around the world. We do all kinds of other promotional activities and so on.
Yeah, to spread out the message, what CC Link TSN can do here. So when is your technology best used and when do your USP become apparent?
Well, as we mentioned briefly at the beginning, our USP, if you like, it's kind of got two parts. The first is that currently we're the only industrial Ethernet technology available right now that offers gigabit bandwidth. So, as we are moving into the future with the increasing importance of digitalization and digital twins and Industry 4.0 and all this kind of stuff, the amount of data that's being generated by manufacturing processes is increasing tremendously. There's basically like an exponential growth in this data. So it's very important you have a network that allows you to handle all this data in the best way. And that's why having gigabit bandwidth is very important, because it gives you the bandwidth to tackle that. But then the second part of the USP is TSN, time-sensitive networking. So as we've already discussed, that combines with the gigabit to give you the necessary levels of determinism and convergence too. Put all that together and you've got a pretty powerful solution for addressing the digitalization trend that we're seeing in manufacturing right now.
Yeah, thank you. And just to make clear, because the name is pretty long, but it's really relevant to have all the components in there. So CC Link means control and communication link. And then we have IE, that's for industry Ethernet. And then we have TSN, what we just learned from like the soccer analogy here. That's a time-sensitive networking, right?
Yeah, I guess we just keep adding bits on as we've gone along. We're a 20-year-old organization, and in the beginning we just had CC Link, which was a field bus, but that's kind of a legacy technology now. And as we move forward, we added the industrial Ethernet, and then we added the TSN.
Okay, cool. And Michał, from Mitsubishi side, when we talk about motion control applications, so what is the benefit of TSN with like the high accuracy here and things we talked about before for you, for Mitsubishi, and also for your components?
Thanks to the TSN itself, we can provide the speed of the network, the bandwidth of the network also. And we can achieve even 32 microseconds of scan time between the axes. So it's really, really fast, I have to say. And thanks to that, we can have this tight synchronization between the components. So they can all work in the real time to provide the best accuracy between them. Also, thanks to the better, I would say, more accurate motors inside, because we are talking about 67 million pulses per rotation. So it's incredible accuracy which we can achieve. And thanks to the network itself, we can also utilize this accuracy on the motor side. So this is something that TSN is enabling us to achieve. Also from our side, technology of the networks, because current market, industrial market especially, it's focused on the safety system. All of the systems, all of the machines of the market has to comply with the safety directives and so on. And thanks to the CC Link ITSN, we can completely send all of the safety details to the servo drive, which can then take action, like for example, limit the speed, can completely stop, and so on. So we can just utilize this technology inside the motor. Like also John mentioned, this convergence. So we can have multiple network traffics inside this one wire, which is the TSN Ethernet wire, and we non-compromising the performance of motion control, because the communication speed between the servo drives, motion controllers has to be really fast. And if we flood the network with some unnecessary traffic, maybe some vision sensors, which are just sending the video feed from the cameras, it can really impact the performance of the network. And thanks to this convergence, thanks to the time synchronization, we can completely prioritize and focus on this, I would say, the most important traffic, which is the motion traffic and safety traffic, and to not lose this performance, which is the key for the motion control especially.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So the high accuracy is relevant, and then you're mentioning the network design. So there's masses of different types of data which is streaming there, and it's really important also to have the security aspect.
Yes, one more thing, because we also talking about the large amount of drives in this synchronization, because in this particular application at the Keller, we was talking about from 65 to 70 drives in complete synchronization, but we can achieve almost 250 or above 250 axes in tight synchronization, thanks to the TSN technology.
Yeah, thanks for the addition. And while we are talking, John, I have a question, and I'm not sure if I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that, but there's this strange, market situation, because we maybe know Profinet, EtherCAT, like this different types of protocols, technologies on the market. And you're working now with Mitsubishi, but you're working with other manufacturers too, like Festo, IFM, SICK. I don't want to dive in this topic, but there's kind of this strange market situation here, because everybody has to work kind of with each other, right? So do you have a statement for that?
Yeah, well, you're right. Right now, the CLPA has 10 key board members, which, like you say, that includes companies like Mitsubishi Electric, but it also includes companies like Balluff and Cognex and Cisco and various other ones too. But then beyond that, we also have right now, there's roughly around 400 companies who actually manufacture products that use our technology. So like you said, it's pretty much like a who's who of the industrial automation industry. Like you said, that also includes companies like Festo and ABB and many others. It's kind of an interesting situation because, we work with them to put our technology in their products, but obviously there's other technologies on the marketplace. So they also work with the other guys to put their technology in their products too. So in the end, it's a win-win for the customer because they have a very broad choice of different technologies to choose from. And at the same time, we get to work with some of the best companies in the industry to make sure that they can offer products that use our technology. I think in the end, everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's nice. And also the technology, or maybe to come to a conclusion here, we learned about the use cases and the business challenge of Keller here to have also the different types of machines, the tooling, but also to have the possibility to reconfigure and bring in new features and enable the operators to work with data and some different use cases around quality management and so on. And the technology enables here, right? So you have like the base that all the customers can set up their different use cases and different visions also now, but in the future with CC Link Partner Association here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously Keller's a really good example of a company using our technology in their machine and via products that support our technology from Mitsubishi in this case. But we work across a very broad variety of different industries. We're not just working on printing. So, there's consumer electronics, there's automotive, there's material handling, there's semiconductor, food and beverage, and all kinds of different industries. So the technology of CC Link IETSN has been adopted so far by over 100 different major global corporations worldwide. So yeah, it's been very broadly accepted. Yeah.
And you also have great reference stories. And when you're listening now, I will put some of these in the show notes. So please check on the website, but also on our page, IoTUseCase.com. We have a lot of references online and different types of industries using the technology. And John, when I'm listening now as a provider or somebody who thinks like, hey, can I be part of that? How does it work? So how can I become a partner of your association?
Yeah, well, it's very simple. You just get in contact with us. So contact us through our website. The email there is partners@eu.cc-link.org. You can see it there on the website, or you can contact me through LinkedIn. You can just look me up on LinkedIn, John Browett. And yeah, we'd be happy to talk to you and let's see how we can work together.
Yes, I will put both in the show notes. So please feel free to have a chat with John or check out the website. So I will put that in the show notes. And maybe the last thing for today. So do you have any experiences working together now in this project, what you want to share with the audience out there? Would you say, hey, please be aware of this? Or do you have some examples, experience from this project? Maybe, Piotr, can you say something from your side out of the practice?
Very advanced, future-ready technology that will make your life easier. Our project was very innovative and you need the right partner. We are together for 12 years with Mitsubishi. We trust each other. It's a strategic partnership. That's my advice. You need the right partner. It's as important as technology itself.
Yes. And also you mentioned like the turbulent ecosystem also on your customer side. So it's important to have a partner, which is not only from the technology wise, but also to have a trusted partner, not for now, but also for the future. And you mentioned also that you want to bring in some new sensors, some new things. So do you have anything in the future what you want to put in your machines or having new features on that? I guess you mentioned the vision sensor. So what are you planning in the future?
Yes, vision sensors, of course, for quality control, but vision technology is very usable in positioning systems, in recognizing products. So it can make setup easier. It can prove that the setup is correct. We would like to develop new modules for typical applications, new printing technologies, new assembly and packaging technologies. the capacity of the system allows us to think about it without any limits right now.
And with that, I would close the session for today. I mean, I have a lot of questions in my mind, but maybe that's for a follow-up. So from my side, a huge thank you to the three of you. And it's great to see how CC Link, i.e. TSN, drives the innovation really in Keller's industrial printing technology, and to see how Keller, as a leading OEM of machines that perform and screen like these different printings with these new technologies, but also be able to set up on this in the future and to scale this technology and the different use cases behind that. Thank you a lot. And I would hand over to you with the last word.
Well, yeah, I think just one final comment from my side. For those of you who want to learn more about what Keller's machine looks like and how it works, we worked together with Piotr and Michał to make a really nice video about the whole system. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see that there, and it gives you a really good feel for how the machine looks and how it operates and so on.
Yeah, exactly. I also really encourage you to see it, because the machine itself, it's amazing in terms of not only, of course, of the solutions which are behind, but from mechanical point of view, it's amazing. So really encourage you to see and to experience this. I hope that you will see some really exciting things there.
I would like to say productivity, flexibility, modularity, and safety. These were main business advantages for our customers we are able to deliver because of this partnership, and thank you for that.
So thank you, and have a great rest of the week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.